Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta told our chief football correspondent Alex Crook that the 1-1 draw at Chelsea he found a little bit frustrating.
Well, disappointed with the result, but very proud of what I've seen again from the team. To be able to do what we've done against this team in this stadium, I haven't seen it. They have battered everybody up here, and the team has stood up again. They made the most difficult one after a difficult start to score the goal and be very dominant, and then very disappointed at the standards to defend the way we done that second phase of the set piece and concede the goal. But then the team again, it shows the teeth. It says we're not happy with that. We want more, and the way we attack them, where we put them under trouble and the small margins to score the goal, and at the end it didn't come, but I think we deserved.
Can I ask you about Declan Rice, who obviously didn't see out the 90 minutes, and Bukayo Saka hobbled off as well? Will they be able to report for England duty, do you think?
They could not finish the game. They weren't feeling good at all, so they asked to be subbed, so that's the news.
Okay.
Thank you.
And just in terms of the lack of goals in recent matches, is that a concern or is that purely down to the injuries?
Well, it is a concern, obviously, we know, and especially today we had against 3-4 big chances to score against those teams, and we didn't put them in the net. It will click. It's all about energy.
Okay, we're not messing about. Joining us now for more on the game and a general wrap-up of the weekend is talkSPORT's chief football correspondent. It's Alex Crook. Crookie, a very good morning. How are you this morning?
Yeah, good morning. Very good. What a weekend it was, and yesterday with that Tottenham defeat at home to Ipswich, good game at Stamford Bridge. Big win for United. Enjoyed my Sunday.
Oh, well, it was a great Sunday. I mean, I've got to say, Crookie, Andy and I were talking about it. In fact, what a weekend of sport. But we'll start at the game yesterday. You were there, Arsenal at the Chelsea. I said to Andy was there also as well. Enjoyed it, Crookie. I thought it was a competitive game. I thought Arsenal looked slightly better without being brilliant. Clearly enjoying the return of Odegaard.
Yeah, in terms of chances created, they posed much more of a threat going forward with Odegaard back in the team, and credit to him for getting through the 90 minutes. Obviously, it was his pass that set up the goal for Martinelli. Frustration was the word used there by Mikel Arteta. I think at how quickly they allowed Chelsea to equalise. Brilliant strike from Pedro Neto, but obviously was given far too much freedom on the edge of the Arsenal penalty area. But it's 3 goals now in 4 Premier League games, 2 points in those Premier League games, drew a blank in Milan in midweek as well. Is it too simplistic to say that lack of a number 9 in the summer transfer window is costing Arsenal, because they created more than enough chances to win the game? And I think you've got to say from their perspective, it's 2 points dropped.
Yeah, I mean, look, Crookie, I agree with you. Midweek, I thought they did everything they could against Inter Milan, and were very unlucky. A crazy decision goes against them. Yesterday, again, you're right. Look, there is no doubting that Kai Havertz, Ali and I were speaking about this, that he offers so much in terms of energy and effort and commitment to it, and he drops off the front. He's not just that natural 9, but there are times during a season and there are games where you would like to have someone that you really recognise as an absolute, a special player at what he does. And I do think that Arsenal, if they could find that player, who that player is, I don't know, but if they could find one like that, I mean, would someone like Isak, if he was in the Arsenal team, would he go in there, Crookie, do you think, and score on 20?
He'd be perfect. Crookie, just before you answer that question, I mean, I was in Milan, and I agree with Andy. I thought Arsenal, particularly second half, were very, very good in possession of football. However, I would have to balance it up by saying I can't remember watching a team so comfortable in defence as Inter Milan. That second half
headed everything out,
everything away. They were just so comfortable. It was like a proper, Italian defensive job. They were really, really comfortable. So, and it's all things in the garden are rosy when you're getting goals from other areas of a team, Crookie. But when it doesn't happen, as we've seen, as you've mentioned, the last 3 or 4 games, that inevitably is when people like ourselves, in particular, ask questions.
Yeah, and I think Andy's point about Isak is valid, because we know he's somebody that Mikel Arteta is a fan of, someone that Arsenal have had on their radar for some time, someone who is yet to commit to a new contract at Newcastle. So I think if somebody went and made a big money offer, Newcastle's still not in the best of health in terms of PSR, they would have a decision to make. And I think also Henry Winter, in his piece on the talkSPORT website, I don't want to pick out Havertz as an individual, but his goals tend to come against the lesser lights in the Premier League. He's a little bit of a flat track bully in that respect. And I think if you look at the chance right at the end of the game, it may not have counted anyway because of an offside situation. But the fact that Leandro Trossard effectively took the ball off Havertz's toe, that sort of sums up where Arsenal are at the moment going forward. And that, even at this early stage of the season, I think 9 points on Liverpool is too big a gap to make up. I don't think it's ever been done before. 9 points clear. The last 5 teams who've had that kind of lead at this stage of a Premier League season have gone on to win the title. So it's good news for Liverpool.
I just think, though, Crookie, I just think, mate, and I don't know whether you agree or not, I just think this is the year it could happen. It might not, but it could happen, because I just think, and I said at the start of the season, mate, this season more than any season, though, and the one result that's probably the biggest shock this season, although they've been fantastic, was Forest winning at Liverpool. But that aside, Liverpool have been far more consistent. But you look what's happening to City, to Arsenal, to Spurs in particular. I mean, there's games that you would expect them to pick up points, but they're losing, and it's down to the standard and the quality of team in the league. Crookie, Brighton, tough places to go. Bournemouth, you know, I mean, there's so many good sides, and I just think it will continue this season. I think you'll see, I don't like using the word shock, but you've probably got a few more surprise results than you would in previous seasons.
Yeah, and I think that's, as you say, a reflection of the quality of those teams in the middle of the Premier League. I think it's really competitive, isn't it? From about 14th place up to 5th, probably. And I guess you'd include Chelsea in that bracket as well. I spoke to Enzo Maresca after the game, and I asked him if they were ahead of expectations when you look at the summer they had with big name first team players training on their own. You had the Raheem Sterling debacle on the first day of the season when he released a statement via his representatives pre-match to express his unhappiness about being left out of the team. The fact Chelsea are third in the table, above Arsenal, above Tottenham, above Manchester United. I think Maresca deserves a lot of credit. But you're right, there are going to be surprise results. But Liverpool just look so comfortable in games at the moment. They're winning almost in third gear, aren't they? And you mentioned Inter Milan defensively. You've got to be impressed with what Arne Slot has done with Liverpool. And I know he hobbled off for the weekend, but I think Trent Alexander-Arnold is sort of the emblem of that, the fact he's improved so much defensively in such a short space of time.
Brilliant, Crookie. I believe I might be seeing you in the next week or so, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to hopefully catch up for a pint of Sagres on the beach, aren't we?
That'll do me lovely, mate. Thanks, enjoy
Take
your
care,
week.
mate.
Look forward to seeing you over there, pal. Now we've got time for a quick call. 03717223344. That's the number to call. And it's a very good morning to Steve, the Arsenal fan, and he's done just that. Steve, good morning.
Morning, Ali. Morning, Andy.
Morning, Steve.
How are you this morning, Steve? What did you think yesterday, mate?
I didn't watch the game. I see the highlights. But to be honest with you, Ali and Andy, you know, from what I've heard, it was all this talk about dominating a game. You know, yeah, you can dominate a game, but what's the point in dominating a game if you're not going to win the game? You know, and it just you and Cookie hit the nail on the head. If you don't go out in the summer and buy a prolific goal scorer, you're not going to win the game. You're not going to win the league, you know.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday, Steve, your team did. I wouldn't say they didn't dominate the game. They didn't. They weren't having it all their own way. Far from it. Chelsea had spells in it. I thought they had the lion's share of it, but Chelsea always looked like they might be able to at some point get back involved in the game. And look, you've been very, very close with Kai Havertz, Steve. You've been very, very close.
Can I ask you this, Andy?
Go
and Alex, do you think there is a reliance too much heavily on Odegaard?
Yes. Well, I'll tell you what I'll say. I don't know if there's too much of a reliance, but and I'll stand corrected in this one, Steve, because I knew Arsenal would miss him, but I couldn't believe to the extent that they missed him, mate, because I've always known he's been a brilliant player, top player, but I thought they would handle it a little bit better, Andy.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, look, and again, this happens, Steve. Look at City. Look at some of the injuries that they've got. Every team suffers those moments where you have to keep your fingers crossed and you hope that the way that you chop and change it around, you have good effect. I mean, Trossard is a really good little player, I think, because he can play as the 10 alley in front of two.
Come off the left.
He can play off the left. He'll play anywhere. Him, and he very nearly applied the finishing touch yesterday, right on the final whistle. I think the flag would have gone up, or had gone up anyway, for offside. But look, it's an interesting one with Havertz, and until Arsenal get over the line, it will always be a topic, Ali, won't it?
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.